What is up, YouTube? Today we've got a list of various chat commands that you can use in Path of Exile that are helpful. I'm going to just give you a couple of the ones that I particularly use on a frequent basis while playing. So one of the very first ones is passives, to see what lists of, or essentially what passives you've actually got going for you. That's very, very important, especially as you're leveling. Just if you're wondering, hey, did I pick up that one particular optional quest like Dweller of the Deep, or did I go back and get Kishra's Star, which is a passive point that you have to get in Act 7, but you only can get it after you do another optional quest for Whalem. Anyway, opportunities like that where you essentially have passive points that are locked behind various other side quests, optional side quests that you may not have done. So all you have to do is type in /passives with an S for plural, no apostrophe, and that will tell you all of the various passives that you can get, as well as all of the passives that you have allotted from your ascendancy as well as from your character level, which is very, very helpful just to look and see, to do some character management. Okay, some other really helpful ones. I just used one actually because I'm in my hideout and I'm doing trading. So one of them is /DND. What this does is this turns on or off DND mode. In order to turn it on, you simply type it in once, and that will send back an auto reply. This player has DND mode enabled. In order to turn off DND mode, you simply type it in again and it goes away. DND is short for Do Not Disturb, and it means that anybody that tries to send you a PM, whether that's a trade request like you see popping up on the screen, or even a private message, or even guild chat, trade chat, global chat, all of those chats get muted while you've got DND mode enabled. Another one is /AFK. You can actually type in /AFK and then put quotation marks around it, and you can then type in a custom message which will then play for anybody that sends you a message. So for instance, right now I've got AFK mode on, which means anybody that sends me a message gets an auto reply making YouTube videos. This is sometimes why when you're searching for something or buying a map or buying an item, it will display for you some random message that somebody's put in. Sometimes I'll put that I'm eating lunch, sometimes I'll put that I'm on a phone call, but as soon as you interact with the screen, you'll see AFK mode is now off. So that's another very, very helpful everyday command. Other commands that are very helpful are looking right here at remaining. This is really, really helpful. It displays how many monsters remain alive in the area. I use this one a lot when I am clearing out the strand in Act 6. When you first go from killing Kitava the first time in Act 5 and you make it to Act 6, and you have to clear the strand for Lily in order for her to become available to interact and to buy gems from, I will often use the remaining /remaining command, which simply lets you know how many monsters there are remaining in a particular zone. You can type it in, and if there are no remaining monsters, then you will see 0 monsters remain. See, the game tells me that my character is not a monster. So there you go. That's pretty nice. Another fun one is deaths. This is another fun one, which this tells you how many times your character has died, which I have not done this on this character. So let's see. This is softcore. I'm going to guess 350. Oh, wow, 149 times. Okay, not as much. So my other characters probably died a lot more in Betrayal League because this one doesn't have as much time played on it. Which, speaking of time played, if you're wondering, hey, how much time have I played on this particular character? You can type in /played, which displays the length of time the current character has logged in. Now, this is one where I always debate with various folks about. I've been logged in for 1 day, 20 hours, 10 minutes, and 47 seconds on this particular character. That's not actually logging like your continuous playtime while you're moving around. It's just logging your logged time inside the game space. So sometimes that can be helpful. Sometimes it's not as helpful. I know, at least for me, sometimes I go AFK overnight and I leave the program running. So it's not that helpful in that regard. But generally speaking, I will use that when I kill Act 5 Kitava and Act 10 Kitava, just because I want to see how fast I'm progressing and getting better at leveling different characters. Another one that's quite fun is the /ignore. So you can type this if somebody is spamming you. Let's say, for instance, that any of these people that have been messaging me for maps, I'm not going to do it because I want them to actually come back into my come back into my trading list. But let's say that we wanted to ignore this person. Now, of course, you can always right-click and ignore them, but you can also enter in ignore and then enter in their username from there. So this one would be Comfiture Arsoc. Now, if you've got a relatively long ignore list and it fills up, I've had this happen several times. If you have a long list of ignores that fill up, one of the great commands that you can do is you can type in clear ignore list, and this removes all player accounts from the ignore list. Sometimes you'll have somebody that a trade just doesn't go your way, or maybe there was a misunderstanding in the trade, or maybe somebody's just straight up spamming you. I've had people come into my hideout and just straight up spam me. So you can obviously report those users, but then you'll want to ignore them. But then after a while, you don't want to keep them ignored because you need to have on this limited ignore list, you need to have room for other people who may come in and do the same thing. So the simple command is simply \clear ignore list with underscores. And you can see, boom, your ignore list has been cleared. So whoever had been ignored up until that point is no longer ignored. Couple more as we wrap up. Since we've got all of these wonderful different side quests and end game side options now, one that is great is if you want to go visit the menagerie because you're going to go do some beast crafting, you can simply type in \menagerie and boom, away you will go. The same thing also works for delving. You can simply type in \delve and away you will go to delve. Hey, Nico. What you doing here in the Azurite mine? Hanging, other than digging for sulfite, which apparently I need to use up some of my sulfite. And lastly, you can type in \hideouts or \hideout, which apparently that doesn't work from the mine. Wow, that's fascinating. But it does work from any town. So any town or any other location that you otherwise can go to your hideout, you can simply type in \hideout and go directly to the hideout from there. So there you go. I'm going to link this helpful list of chat commands down below in the video down below. What are some of the chat commands that you use on a frequent basis? You can feel free to leave us a comment down below. And as always, stay tuned for more daily POE betrayal videos.